Hello, my name is Philip Totaro. I'm the founder and CEO of market research firm IntelStor. Welcome to your weekly dose of truth to power. Truth to Power examines data driven insights for the energy sector with a focus on renewables. Today is a special episode in which I'm going to share an analysis of the proposed changes to the IRS rules for the start of construction to qualify for tax credits in the United States. On August 15th, 2025, the U.S. Department of the Treasury issued Notice 2025 42. This notice provides guidance for the rules governing start of construction for production tax credit or investment tax credit qualification in the USA. The biggest change is that there are no more safe harbors after the 2nd of September 2025. Safe harbors before that date must still engage in continuous physical construction to be able to qualify for the production tax credit. But they can still choose to start construction within the 4-year window allotted under the old IRS rules if they already have safe harbor equipment. For projects which have not already safe harbored and anything after September 2nd, 2025, they must start construction by July 4th, 2026 and maintain continuous physical construction activity until the project is commissioned by the end of 2027. As I noted, these new rules are slated to become effective on the 2nd of September. That's very fast. Normally, what happens is these rules are enacted, and it would take until the end of the calendar year for them to become in full force and effect. But as I've said before on this show, if you don't already have a safe harbor under the old rules, you're better off trying to get that in place before the 2nd of September if you can. And even if you do, it doesn't guarantee that you qualify for tax credits if the county or township your project is in enacts a moratorium. A few weeks ago, I talked about the report released by the Sabin Center at Columbia Law School. They have been cataloging the counties and townships in the United States which have moratoriums on development in place. The report indicates that at the end of 2024, there are now 459 counties and municipalities across 44 states which had adopted severe local restrictions on the siting of renewable energy projects. It's now extremely easy for counties or townships in the USA to block renewable energy project development, and the likelihood that they are being encouraged to do so, albeit quietly, by the White House is very high. So the best thing for project developers to do is start construction fast to prevent moratoriums from being enacted that would block the physical construction requirement that you now have to comply with. Other notable changes to the IRS rules around start of construction include this notion of the physical work requirement. The IRS rules now require that physical work, quote, of a significant nature is to be performed. Well, how do they define that? Well, the test that they've put in place on the nature of the work performed is not in relation to the amount of work undertaken or the cost of the work undertaken, which is actually a good thing for the industry. And the work itself can be either on site or off site, which is also a very interesting twist. Off site physical work of a significant nature may include the manufacturing of components, mounting equipment, or support structures. For solar, that would include things such as racks, rails, inverters, transformers, or other power conditioning equipment. Similarly, for wind energy equipment, the manufacturing of substation equipment would also qualify for off-site work. This actually has the effect of bolstering the US economy since the requirement forces manufacturing to take place that is associated with a project development and construction activity that's underway. Now, by contrast, on site physical work of a significant nature is deemed to begin when the beginning of excavation of the foundations taken place, the setting of anchor bolts into the ground, pouring of concrete pads for the foundation, etc. Now, this next bit for wind energy is very interesting. If wind turbine components and towers are assembled on site from components that are manufactured off site by a supplier, the developer can still claim the start of construction if two conditions are met. One, the manufacturer's work is done pursuant to a binding contract. So an OEM has to have a contract with the developer in place for equipment supply. And two, these components are not held in the OEM's inventory. So that's basically indicating that only newly manufactured components can be fabricated by an OEM or component vendor for supply that is subject to a formal written agreement. All in all, even though we've lost the safe harbor benefit, this could have been a lot worse. And while the biggest impact is the elimination of this 4-year window under the safe harbor, the net result of these changes will actually be to spur US component manufacturing. Now, as I noted several weeks ago, there are just a fraction over 30 gigawatts of new greenfield wind energy projects currently under construction or consented in the United States. More than 14.5 gigawatts already has safe harbored equipment under the existing IRS rules, which are poised to change on September 2nd. The remaining 16.5 gigawatts will need to sign safe harbor agreements before that date or risk being hampered by local moratoriums on the start of construction that would block projects fulfilling their requirements to be able to claim tax credits. EPC companies will remain in high demand, so if you haven't signed your contracts yet, or you were waiting to build projects for a more favorable interest rate environment, you need to decide if the project is viable right now and get building. Thank you for joining me this week. I'm Philip Totaro, and this has been your weekly dose of truth to power. Follow us on IntelStor's YouTube channel as well as your favorite audio platforms. And visit www.intelstore.com to join more than 200,000 subscribers to our renewable energy data solutions. A full analysis of the renewable energy market in the United States is available to subscribers. And if you haven't done so already, you can register today for the next Wind Summit event in Houston, Texas this October. Visit www.windsummit.org and join hundreds of your industry colleagues from companies like NextEra, EDPR, EDF, Pattern Energy, Clearway, Apex Clean Energy, and more. We hope to see you there.